So this time, we'll be looking at from the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Series 5, Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer first appears in Fantastic Four number 48 in 1966. Surfer, of course, comes with his surfboard stand, shaped here, sculpted to look like a meteorite asteroid, and it even has a little post here that you can put on a nail or a thumbtack even. The surfboard can come off of this, but I don't think that it's actually supposed to. There are two versions of this figure. I don't know if they're actually true variants or not, but one comes with Howard the Duck, and one comes without Howard the Duck. Now, Howard the Duck only has articulation in the arms and head, and that's it. Perhaps I might revisit Howard the Duck and do a little bit of explanation into him. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's a neat little cool thing that it came with. We'll leave Howard off to the side. Just to go back to the surfboard, it has a gimmick. It is magnetic. You can see this little strip here is a magnet, and there are magnets on the heels of the surfer's feet. You can stick him on there, and it helps him stay on his surfboard. Now, looking at the sculpt, it's a pretty nice sculpt. You can see the nice head, very big eyes on this surfer. Really helps give him that alien feel. The surfer does come with the extra shoulder joints that help in raising and lowering the arms, as opposed to the forward and back extra shoulder joints, which is kind of neat because you can give them all sorts of reaching poses. It's very nice. You can see there from the back. The paint is very good. It's this very reflective silver with lots of blue thrown in to give highlights and to give him that sort of I guess out in space feel. One thing I'm not too happy about is this is a good sculpt for his hand, but the other one is kind of a generic sculpt. I would have preferred to have him just a flat out hand like this. You know, like when he blasts somebody, a hand sculpted like that would also help in kind of giving him a balancing effect. This works too, but I still would have preferred a hand sculpted more like this. So for his articulation, he's got a nice head. Again, those extra shoulder joints. Arms go around, in and out. Bicep, double joint at the elbow. His forearms swivel. Although they do break up the sculpt of the arm a bit, and I'm not too happy about that. Hands go up and down, and all his fingers are on the same joint. He has crunch articulation, ab crunch, as well as waist articulation. His legs go out and in, forward and back, swivel at the hip there, or upper thigh, double knee joint, swivel at the calf, bend at the ankle. They have a toe joint, and unfortunately, he does not have a ankle pivot. Now, I found that my figure is very, very loose in a lot of the joints. That's, I think, been over time, but he is still quite posable. I just gotta get him in the right spot and balance him out well. Maneuvering the arms helps with that too. The Silver Surfer starts life as Norinn Radd, an astronomer from the planet of Zenlaw. Norinn discovers that Galactus, the planet-eating being, is on his way. And so he uses his resources to contact Galactus and make a deal in order to spare his planet from being consumed. He agrees to seek out planets that are fit for Galactus's consumption and report back to Galactus about these planets, so that he doesn't expend useless energy in coming to planets that don't suit him, or that he doesn't like, the non-fat planets. So Galactus agrees to this and will spare Zenlaw and gives him part of his cosmic power, or as they refer to him, the power cosmic, and transforms him into this silver-like being who is able to absorb cosmic energy and redirect it in various different ways. It's not known how long he serves Galactus until he comes to Earth, but you have to assume it's quite a while, because he becomes pretty lax in selecting habited worlds for Galactus to consume. He comes to Earth, runs into the Fantastic Four, and after having a conversation with Ben Grimm and Alicia Masters, mostly Alicia Masters, the blind girlfriend of the Thing at the time, he decides that he's going to oppose Galactus's consumption of the Earth. Gives the Fantastic Four enough time to come up with a solution to get Galactus to leave. However, he does not escape recriminations from Galactus. Galactus exiles him to Earth, puts up this barrier so he cannot leave the upper atmosphere of Earth. He spends all this time reflecting on what being an Earth person is and how close they are to the people of Zenlaw. He's used by the Stan Lee as a commentator on the way of life on planet Earth, how we treat each other, war, greed, and all other sorts of human traits are explored through the Surfer's eyes. He does run afoul of Doom, who tries to steal his power, and the demon or chief devil of the Marvel Universe, Mephisto, who wants to gain power over the Surfer's soul. Mephisto uses Shallabal, the love of Norinn Radd, to try and get his soul. Surfer breaks through the barrier and returns to Zenlaw, which has been devastated by Galactus. He finds out that Shallabal has been kidnapped from Zenlaw by Mephisto, and he frees her, and in doing so gives her part of the power cosmic, which she reuses to revitalize Zenlaw. But the Surfer, because he returned to Earth, is being trapped once again behind the barrier. Eventually, he does manage to pierce the barrier a second time, and he saves Frankie Ray, the new Herald of Galactus known as Nova, not to be confused with the Nova of the Nova Corps. Because he saves the new Herald, Galactus ends his exile to the planet Earth, and so now he's free to roam the cosmos, getting involved in this Kree-Skrull conflict, Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity Watch, all that Infinity series, the Surfer is pretty much involved in. One other thing to mention, while he was trapped on Earth, he became a member of the Defenders, a founding member of the Defenders. The Surfer is another one of these guys that seems to fall in and out of favor, but is always around. For instance, he was on Planet Hulk, lost his memory, and became the Silver Savage. He's a big part of Annihilation, which he joins with several other ex-Heralds of Galactus against Annihilus. When he's finally captured by Annihilus with Galactus, and once he's freed, he becomes the co-Herald, I guess, with the other surviving Herald, ex-Herald, Stardust. And I think he's returned to the planet Sakaar, from Planet Hulk, and meets Scar, the Hulk's son, and comes into conflict with him over something called the Old Power, which is it's kind of like superfood for Galactus. It'll keep him fed for thousands and thousands of years, thus reducing the number of planets that he has to consume. But unfortunately, it's addictive. So the more he uses of it, the more of this old power that he gets, the more he wants, but doesn't need. So that's kind of an interesting direction that the Surfer will have to deal with. And so anyway, that's my review of the Surfer, Silver Surfer. Stay tuned for my next review, which will be on Namor the Submariner.